of equipment all of the players are wearing in an attempt to stay safe in this coronavirus pandemic.
If you're only working with a quarter of your alphabet of students at a time, you really get to know the children in a deeper sense.
Soft opening. Some school districts prepared to go back to class. We have the details on how this will work. And the show will go on. The Summit County Fair is operating as normal until new restrictions go into place. Their plan to keep visitors safe and what they have to say about the governor's new rules.
It was wild to see that I wasn't alone, but it also made me feel good because there were other people that could help me understand it's okay to not be okay.
Michael Phelps and other Olympians are opening up in a new documentary about the mental health struggles they faced when their competitive days were over. We have all the details. Plus, making it big, two local bakers are going head-to-head on a new Netflix series with $10,000 on the line. We talked to them ahead of their big reveal. What's New starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and welcome to our Wednesday edition of What's New. Romney, we are halfway to Friday. Thanks so much for joining us on this absolutely gorgeous day outside. Alongside Romney Smith, who's in for Betsy, I am Jay Crawford.
Always good to join you here, Jay. And you know what? Halfway through the week for you, but it's my Friday, so I'm in a really good mood today.
Rub it in.
I have to, you know. All right, well, we're going to start like we normally do with the very latest in COVID-19 numbers. Within the last 24 hours, 1,396 new COVID cases were reported across Ohio. That brings our total to 87,893 cases. The daily number of new cases has only been under 1,000 once within the last 6 days. Our 21-day average is now 1,320, okay?
Other numbers, Romney. Our positivity rate ticked up slightly from yesterday. It's now at 5.7%. That's up from 5.3. One bit of good news, our hospitalizations are down 22 from yesterday. That 1122 of hospitalized patients yesterday was the highest statewide since this pandemic began. It has since ticked down by 22 patients. And deaths yesterday, 40 were reported in the state. Actually, that's today's number. Yesterday, it was 37, so that is an increase of 3. However, statewide, ICU patients, 15 fewer today than we saw yesterday. All right, moving on from the numbers. Because of the cases in Ohio, Governor DeWine limited fair activities to operate as junior fairs, but that begins July 31st. Summit County Fair opened its doors today without any restrictions. Brandon Simmons was there as the doors opened to give us a look inside.
Yeah, the governor's announcement yesterday came as a surprise to many. Luckily, here in Summit County, the fair started today before the new rules would have shut it down altogether. Now, that doesn't mean they're not taking precautions here. As soon as you get to the door, you'll see plenty of signs reminding you to keep your distance from others. There's also sanitizing and hand washing stations spread out throughout the fairgrounds. Now, when it comes to rides, they get cleaned once an hour, which is more than in compliance according to organizers, and masks are highly encouraged as you walk around. Now, those precautions sound like the same things you hear about at restaurants, stores, and theme parks. For that reason, organizers struggle to understand why Governor Mike DeWine had a change of heart about fairs.
I do not agree with the governor's order. We have a plan in place. We have some county fairs that did not follow the plan, and now we're going to punish all county fairs because some fairs did not follow the plan. I helped write the orders to reopen Ohio's fairs. I was on that management team that did that, and I believe we can do this safely.
Now, a few people I spoke to also complained that it's not fair that places like Cedar Point are allowed to operate as fairs are being forced to shut down. Now, so far, no word on if the governor will make changes to those rules, but we do expect Governor DeWine to address bars tomorrow. Now, the Summit County Fair will fully operate through August 2nd as planned, and if this is the kind of thing that you enjoy, this is probably your last chance to get out. It's only junior fairs from here on out. In Talmadge, I'm Brandon Simmons, 3 News.
No comment. That was the response from Cleveland's mayor, Frank Jackson, to news that the first 2020 presidential debate is coming to his city on September 29th.
The Cleveland Clinic is hosting the event on its campus in partnership with Case Western Reserve University. But bringing the sitting president and the Democratic nominee to town will still put serious demands on the city of Cleveland. Our Mark Namick is live at City Hall to explain what these challenges are and why the city might not be talking. Mark, it was kind of jarring to hear that our mayor was excluded from those discussions.
Yeah, but what I've been learning today from a lot of people who talked to me off camera, that they all were surprised by the decision. This was pushed by the clinic. The clinic made the offer. Now, the city did know that the offer was being made and was told that they got the debate before the announcement was made public. But beyond that, they're not saying a whole lot.
Now, Mark, that doesn't sound like a very enthusiastic endorsement of the event, but there certainly are pros and cons to everything. And in your opinion, why would the city not want the first presidential debate here?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's unclear, where the mayor's interest is right now, but there are reasons why you might not want it here. Right now, the city is already facing, a budget crisis, and having security costs rise to manage potential protests against a national backdrop of unrest could be a reason. Also, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and Cleveland itself is really hitting a lot of cases and is a hot spot. So the city has to manage it. They have a mask mandate in place, which also affects it. So those are potential reasons why they're not embracing this like they did perhaps the one in 2004 or the RNC convention in 2016, Romney.
And Mark, a lot of conventions bring protests. And so I have to ask you about security.
Yeah, there's a lot of players in this, but it's always led by the U.S. Secret Service. I did talk to the local head of the U.S. Secret Service. He really didn't want to add much other than they're going to try to be ready. 2 months is not a lot of time. I also reached out to the Cleveland Clinic, and they said they're not ready to talk about it, but they are going to talk to a lot of players. They do include the Cleveland Clinic Police, the University Circle Police, and of course the city, which will have to manage traffic, the president's motorcade, and any potential protests. So there is a lot on the plate of the city. Romney?
All right. A lot of people not talking, but we know they will have to at some point. Thank you, Mark.
Well, Romney, it's quite possible the most important piece of equipment the Cleveland Browns players will wear this training camp is not a helmet, and it's not shoulder pads. It is instead a bracelet. In an effort to avoid potential outbreak of COVID-19, every one of the Browns players will be wearing a tracing bracelet that will actually keep track of their whereabouts while they are at the team facility. And more importantly, it will provide potentially valuable information as to which players have come into contact with other players should someone test positive. The Browns say it's all in an effort to protect its players. They're also dividing the team into 2 groups and adding a second locker room. This is in an effort to cut down the number of players in the same locker room. That will split it in half. Other changes include no fans at training camp this year. That's the big one. Although the Browns will begin streaming workouts daily beginning August 14th. Also, no preseason games this season. And Romney, the preseason has been largely viewed as a money grab for the owners for years. The players don't love it. The fans don't particularly love the style of football because it often includes many of the backups that aren't actually on the team once the regular season begins. I know the owners count on that ticket sale revenue and TV revenue.
Oh, of course.
Outside of that, I'm not sure many will miss NFL preseason.
I don't think so either, but you know what? It's really encouraging to hear that they're taking all of these extra steps just to try to make sure that in case any player gets sick, they can at least identify the other players and then have them isolated. So safety top of mind first, because of course we all want the regular season to come because we know that's where it counts and we want to see them play. Yeah, quickly, one other point. The players will not be wearing these bracelets once they leave the facility. That was a concern, a privacy concern that the NFL Players Association had. Sure. So these bracelets will only be worn while they are at the facility. That way they can just trace who they've come in contact with should someone get COVID-19. Makes sense. Yep. All right, thanks. Russ Mitchell joins us now with the other big stories of the day. Hey, Russ.
Hey, Romney, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to you at home. We begin with a developing story in Elyria, where 5 members of the same family were found dead inside a home today. Police were called to the Willow Park Road home this morning for a welfare check. They found those bodies inside. The names and family members and how they died have not been released. About 25 federal agents will come to Cleveland to help local and state law enforcement with what is being called Operation Legend. Its mission is focused on reducing violent crime in the city. The U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Ohio says homicides are up 13% from last year and non-fatal shootings are up 35%.
Any sense of urgency that you may sense from us is born out of a need to prevent additional murders and shootings.
Along with the addition of federal investigators, $8 million is being directed to the Cleveland Police Department to hire 30 officers, and the State Highway Patrol is also getting around $1 million for new hires. And Congressman John Lewis has left our nation's capital for the last time. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other lawmakers stood in the steps of the rotunda to pay their respects as his casket was removed. The late congressman will now lie in state in the Georgia State Capitol until Thursday, tomorrow. His funeral will be held tomorrow at the Ebenezer Baptist Church, that historic church. We'll carry that service on air and on our 3 News app and website beginning at 11 a.m. Around me, that is all for now. I will see you later.
All right, sounds good, Russ. Thank you. This summer has been spent dreaming of the places we'd all love to travel if there wasn't a pandemic going on. And it turns out, while many professionals are dreaming of the perfect getaway, they're not actually taking any time off. So before I get into all the details, I want to know, are you using your vacation days right now during the pandemic, doing a staycation? Let me know. Weigh in at WKYC.com/vote now. But let's get to the study now. So, Jay, a new LinkedIn study found that 67% of professionals don't actually take time off through the end of the year. They haven't requested anything. Many saying it's because of the travel risks associated with going anywhere or financial concerns. And some say they feel like working from home is kind of like getting time off. And 22% say they want to save their vacation time just in case they or a family member gets sick. Now, Jay, I don't believe in wasting vacation time, but I actually haven't been on vacation since my wedding and honeymoon back in February. I like to go somewhere, but I am staying put. So I get what they are doing right now.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, our company, like many companies, they have a use it or lose it policy. So you have to schedule it. Otherwise, you can't carry it over to 2021. So I'd be crazy not to schedule the vacation. Right. Unfortunately, they're all staycations.
That's okay, though. A staycation's better than nothing. And I know 22% said, well, I'm working at home. It feels like vacation. You know what? Work is still work. So I'll take my days off, even if it's a random Tuesday.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. All right, still ahead on What's New. 2 local bakers are going to compete on the Netflix series Sugar Rush. Have you heard about this show? We'll tell you about it and hear from them coming up.
And another retailer is closing up shop for Thanksgiving. We'll have the details on Clicking in Cleveland.
And what's coming up in the weather forecast?
Hey there. Well, we have some rain showers that are going to be impacting Northeast Ohio coming up after the break. I'll let you know exactly when.
Welcome back to What's New. Two women known around Northeast Ohio for their confectionery skills have hit the big leagues as they were chosen to compete in the Netflix series Sugar Rush. As consumer investigator Danielle Serino tells us, the winner takes the cake of $10,000.
For Deb Rogers, creating cakes is an art, requiring paintbrushes, colors, precision, and creativity, all to come up with some of the designs for her company's Sensational Cakes and More in Solon.
I think it's important that when you love to do something, you follow it and you do it. And for me, this started out as a hobby. And, the stars aligned and it turned into a business.
A business that caught the eye of the producers of Sugar Rush, a Netflix reality show which features teams trying to beat the clock in baking the best tasting sweets.
And this season, we're kicking it up a notch because the challenges are more difficult.
They said, we found you online. Your work is incredible. And have you ever thought of applying for a show? And I told him, yeah, I had before in the past, but the timing hadn't worked out.
Deb paired with business partner Seema Acharya of Frosted Cake Art in Chagrin Falls, who she met on a Facebook cake group.
I had surgery last year and I was struggling with a cake and needed some help. So I called her up and I said, help, I need to be bailed out. And she, grabbed her stuff, came on over and helped me finish a cake. And we've been good friends ever since.
But getting paired for the TV gig was like waiting for a cake to rise. 6 months until they actually made it to the set to film.
We did a Skype interview with them. We had to fill out a huge, long interview form and send lots of pictures of our favorite cakes, why we wanted to be on the show, all that kind of stuff. And there were about 3 interviews in the process.
They even wanted to see how the ladies looked with makeup. But all of that was nothing compared to the actual competition.
So you go in really excited and you're like, we got this, we can do this, right? And then you start to shake and then the buzzer goes off, 3, 2, 1, go. And you run to your kitchen and you're like, oh my God, and everything leaves your head. The judges come over, you're trying to smile and all this while your adrenaline is still coursing through your body.
Now, Deb couldn't tell me how far they got, nor who won. We have to wait until midnight on Friday for that reveal. But if you freeze the trailer, look who's celebrating something.
I'm hoping that for both Seema and for me, that this will attract people. It'll help them to see what we can do.
And how much they love it. Danielle Serino.
It's always exciting to say, the person who made this cake was on TV.
3 News.
That's pretty cool, Romney. I wish them well. I know the competition's already over. I hope they won. I think it would be kind of cool.
Too.
Say the winners are from Cleveland.
Their cakes were so impressive looking. That M&M one with all the M&Ms falling down.
That's the one that caught my eye.
That's a work of art right there. I do watch the show, not because I have a sweet tooth. I have a sweet fang, Jay. I'm obsessed with sugar. I do like to bake. I'm nowhere near as talented as those ladies. But I will tell you this. I don't know if the hugging picture was necessarily an indication that they won, and I tell you why. Because the competition is so fierce, people are crying and celebrating after each round. So they might have just gotten a kudos from the judge and be celebrating for that. Yeah. But either way, I do hope they win, and maybe we'll have them on the show.
If they win, we would love to have them on the show. But I'm with you, too, because just in Danielle's piece there, I saw at least 2 other teams hugging and celebrating. Right. So that shot could have been from anything, so we probably shouldn't read too much into that. My bottom line takeaway after watching that is I need a piece of cake.
Absolutely.
I need one right now.
Cue the intern. Where's my cake? All right, let's get to weather now because it's kind of nice out there. Hey, Jason, what are we in store for tonight?
It is one of those nights where, you do want some ice cream or something sweet. So, you know what? Hint, hint, Romney.
Cake?
If you want to make some cupcakes tonight, let me know, please. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Yay. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm in for Matt Wentz. He is covering for Betsy tonight at 6 and 11. So I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers, Suzanne, over in Worcester. She had submitted this photo over at the WKYC app. You can also do the same. She did it this morning right around 7 a.m., just as the sun was rising. So thank you so much. As always, if you have a weather picture or video, you can send it to us. It's the second option there on on the WKYC app. Doppler Radar right now, things are looking good across Northeast Ohio. We do have a few storms over Lake Erie right now that I originally thought that these storms were going to extend into our neighborhood, but for now they are staying offshore, so that is a good thing. However, I think later on tonight we will end up getting clipped by some additional showers. Satellite and radar, you'll notice that we do have just a lot of activity to our west over in St. Louis, as well as Omaha, Nebraska. That's going to try and make its way in. 6 in Medina, 92 right now in Akron. And regionally, we got some cooler weather to our west, 77 degrees over in Topeka. That is where you are seeing a lot of those storms. And over the next couple of days, one of the things that we're going to notice is that the jet stream is going to start to move southward. So that means if you are like Romney and you thoroughly enjoy 90s, I have some bad news for you, because we are not going to see very many 90s over the 7 days. National Design Mart, hour by hour forecast. So there will be a little bit of additional cloud cover along the lakeshore, along with some rain showers overnight. I think the majority of you inland will be okay. And then tomorrow we'll see lots of cloud cover and a slight chance for some afternoon rain showers. Here's a look right now at your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. High of 82 for tomorrow, 80 degrees on Friday, and the weekend is going to be hit or miss. We're talking about 82 on Saturday, 79 for Sunday, but we have some rain chances on both days. Romney?
All right, mixed bag. Thanks, Jason. Airlines really want your business. If you're brave enough, we have a deal for you coming up next.
Yes, I am. Fantastic.
It is that time again, time to see what Clevelanders are clicking on when they're online. We bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Aney, for that. Stephanie, a very good Wednesday afternoon to you.
Very good Wednesday to you. Great to see you, Jay. We're starting off with some news about one of Northeast Ohio's favorite breweries. They are shutting down temporarily, but there is some good news there. Great Lakes Brewing Company posted today on Facebook that they're closing their restaurant and patio until they can come up with a new service model that makes sense for today's world. They said it wasn't an easy decision, but they feel it's what's best, that they're grateful that none of their staff have become ill, and they want to keep it that way. But here's that good news. They will keep the gift shop open. That'll be every day from 11 to 6, so you can still get your Great Lakes Brewing Company beers that you love so much. Now, Frontier Airlines is having a very big sale to drum up business while not a lot of people are flying. They posted today that they have discounted 1 million seats to just $11. Now, in this deal, that's only for one-way domestic flights, and that sale goes through midnight tonight. You can also get a free ticket for a friend if you book a flight by Monday. After midnight, though, you might have to pay more than $11 for that first flight, but the second one will be free, and there's a promo code for that, and that promo code is FlyFree. This was a pleasant surprise that I realized today. It's National Chicken Wing Day. This is a delicious food, well worth celebrating if you're going to celebrate something. So we asked all of you at home to let us know about your favorite wing spots in Cleveland. Here's what you all came up with. A lot of you said Angelo's in Lakewood, and several of you also said Dinah's Filling Station in Brookside. Honorable mention goes to Rusty Barrel in Westlake, and then, of course, Winking Lizard, which is all over Northeast Ohio. Now, I used to love hot wings. I don't eat chicken anymore, but I love the vegan wings from Yard House. There's one of those in Crocker Park if you don't eat chicken. But Jay, the only thing that I can think about right now is you doing that hot wing challenge with Brandon Simmons. The quicker stick and lube challenge. Now, are you traumatized or are you still into chicken wings?
I will tell you that was easily the hottest food I've ever eaten in my life. It took me about an hour before I even stopped sweating. I'll never do that again. It was fun to do it once, to go like the nuclear hot. Just the regular hot is good for me. I'm staying away from anything that has the word nuclear in it. Not a good idea.
I think that's probably a good choice. I was very impressed by both of you, by the way. But yeah, that's not really how I like to eat my vegan or otherwise chicken wings. Not that hot.
Very good. That's a nice thing to know. The Vegan Wing Challenge. It's out there. You can find them, and it's good. I know you love chicken wings, so this is, I guess, the closest you can get to it while still being vegan. Good alternative.
Yep.
All right, stories we're working on for the second half of What's New. This school year is bringing all kinds of new challenges. Some districts are taking a new approach to get their kids, teachers, and parents ready. We're going to tell you what they're doing. Plus, getting out of that morning rut, we have 3 easy things you can start doing tomorrow to be more productive and heal. Then, we all know Michael Phelps as the most decorated Olympian ever. But when the cheering stopped, mental health issues crept in. He and other Olympians are talking about it in a new documentary.
I gotcha. Mic check. 5 members of an Elyria family were found dead in their Willow Park Road home this morning. Officers found. Thanks.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And we welcome you back to What's New for the second half hour of the show, along with Romney Smith. I'm Jay Crawford. Romney, before we get going, I know that we've talked about this on the air many times, but some of our viewers, may have missed it before. But I had a friend text me in the commercial break, said, "Wait a minute, did your weather guy just make a play at your news girl?" I said, "Well, maybe we should explain."
Yeah.
I texted back, "No,
we're married."
They're married. For those of you that don't know, that was. I love that he said.
We still get that sometimes, and people don't realize it because we don't always say it. But yes, he was not being inappropriate. We don't need to call HR. Jason is my husband. We got married back in February, so no worries. I've known him for 6 years.
And he also wanted to know, does Jason get cupcakes tonight then?
We're going to the grocery store, so probably.
Okay.
I like them too. I'll post pictures on the web.
All right, very good. Glad we cleared that up. Our top talker to start the 5:30 half hour, back to school plans. And as we're finding out, getting everyone to agree on one plan, Romney, just is not going to happen. And what each school district eventually decides to do here is one of the biggest concerns for parents right now. And some districts are trying something new in order to ease those concerns.
Yeah, it's understandable why parents are so concerned. We are still in a pandemic, and it seems like every day, Jay, something is changing with back to school with one or several school districts. In fact, the Strongsville and Twinsburg school districts are both opting to have a phase-in soft introduction to school so that everyone can get used to the new rules, policies, and safety procedures. In Strongsville, the idea actually came from a focus group with parents telling the school system how they could ease their kids back into school.
So that came from the ground up. And it was an idea that they developed. And what I love about the idea is that we get to practice all of the modes of education in those first 2 weeks.
Students will not only focus on learning in class, but of course the new safety protocols, that's going to take some getting used to as well. Certainly, students, faculty, and staff are all in for some pretty big changes this school year. For the systems doing in-person or hybrid learning, this is just another way to ease into something that will guaranteed look very different from the past. And Jay, the biggest concern perhaps is not for kids in 6th, 7th, 12th grade who've been to school before. It's the little ones, the ones who are going to kindergarten for the first time, and they're so excited. And mom and dad now have to explain, you can't hug your teacher. You have to get your temperature checked. You have to use hand sanitizer. That's very different.
It is different, and I feel so badly for the young kids that have to go through this. On one hand, so the new kindergartners, maybe they had a level of expectations, but they don't necessarily know what they're going to miss. But think about the kids that have already gone through kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and they became very used to doing things a certain way.
Sure.
Now suddenly their world is turned upside down, and all of that is going to be done differently. Think about this. Way back in March, when this really started to kick in, and the kids were told, you're going to be staying home at school, I'm not sure how many of us would have said that fast forward 6 months and we may still not be back in schools.
I think we all had our fingers crossed thinking it would be over by now and that things would be getting back to normal, but clearly it's here to stay for the meantime. So it's going to be a huge adjustment. So it's nice to know that these schools are changing to give them times to get used to it, get into a new flow. They've got arrows in the floor, similar to what we see in the supermarket. Right. So it'll be different, but I have no doubt these kids are going to be so resilient and they'll do well.
Yeah, kids usually do bounce back quickly. And I love that the school systems are listening to the parents and what their needs are and coming up with a plan that works for the majority. I don't think you're going to find a plan that works for everybody.
No, they're still going to adjust too throughout the school year.
Absolutely. All right, it is a few minutes past the bottom of the hour. That means it's time to bring in Laura Queso. She joins us now from the newsroom with some of the other big stories making headlines today. Laura, good to see you again.
Good to see you, as always. Let's get to it. The 4 big tech companies were in the hot seat today as they went before a congressional committee. There's no doubt Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Google are dominant brands. But the House Judiciary Subcommittee questioned if the company's CEOs were monopolizing the marketplace. All 4 denied the claim. Lawmakers are hoping to prevent this with new antitrust rules, ensuring the tech giants aren't having total control over what we see and also what we buy online. Joe Biden says he'll announce his pick for vice president during the first week of August. The presumptive Democratic nominee says he's been getting extensive briefings from lawyers who are vetting the candidates and will have personal discussions with his final choices. Speculation, though, is running high that Kamala Harris tops the list. after someone snapped a picture of, there it is, Biden's notes at a press conference yesterday. Harris's name was at the top, along with talking points including do not hold grudges and great respect for her. The Ohio High School Athletic Association has suspended all contact sports scrimmages between schools indefinitely. Those contact sports include football, soccer, field hockey, and cross country. A lot of news when it comes to the sports world. We're also expecting a big announcement, we think, from the governor tomorrow as it goes for sports in schools. So much to talk about there, Jay.
No doubt, Laura. I was reading online, a lot of folks are questioning cross country as a contact sport. The decision has been made, though. We'll see if there's any reversal on it. Laura, thank you very much. We will see you 24 minutes from now with What Matters Most at 6.
Thanks, Jay.
Well, here's a really cool story. I'm a space geek, and if you enjoy this kind of stuff, I think you'll like this story, too. NASA's next mission to Mars is less than 24 hours away. And this mission includes a lot of new technology that could reveal new images of the red planet. That's the hope. A rocket is scheduled to blast off tomorrow morning from Cape Canaveral in Florida. This will carry an unmanned rover as well as a helicopter. How about that? This helicopter is believed to be the first to take off and land on another planet for aerial surveys. But there's a big challenge here. The Martian atmosphere is only 1% of our atmosphere. So engineers had to come up with a chopper that only weighs 4 pounds and it has 2 rotors spinning, get this, 8 times faster than a normal helicopter. They're hoping the copter can get pictures of things they otherwise wouldn't have access to.
There are simply places that we can't get to today with just rovers, nor even, humans, sides of steep cliffs or, steep crevices that we can't get to. And so being able to fly, adding that aerial dimension is what's really important.
As for the rover, it is self-driving, has 19 cameras, radars, spectrometers, sensors, probes, and drills in order to collect soil and rock samples. The trip is estimated to take 6 months. I don't know about you, Ron. I love that kind of stuff.
It's so impressive to see what they're creating, why a 4-pound helicopter that spins 8, like what?
And it sounds like a high-tech drone to me, but it's still pretty cool. And I mean, scientists can kind of simulate what they think the atmosphere will be like, but all of this is an experiment, and we won't know until the rover gets there and the helicopter is deployed as to whether or not it can actually hover and fly through that air.
I want to see the pictures that this thing can take. Very interested to see more.
They'll be spectacular. I get the idea here that, I mean, this is going to be up close and personal. They're going to drill, they're going to test rock samples, and then the whole idea is to pack it all up and get it back to Earth.
Hey,
incredible.
I'm all about it. This is why we support science. All right.
I agree.
Well, so recently, we've been asking you to show us something good, and we have a picture from the Akron Police Department. They said a couple was taking wedding pictures in the metro parks, and then the couple spotted these 4 officers, and the bride said, "Hey guys, could you be in one of our pictures?" They all said yes, and it made her day. There's the picture. Now, I have to wonder if there's maybe some law enforcement in her family or his family, or if they knew one of them, or if it was truly just random.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, for one thing, it looks like they're going to be well protected during their wedding photo shoot. That's one way to take a wedding photo. I think it was cool. I think, Romney, this is one of those times that we can remind everybody that, so often in society, one event happens, and then it's easy to paint everybody in that group with that broad brush.
Yeah, it's possible.
The vast majority of police officers are well-intended. They mean to do well every day they go to work. And I think this is just a reminder that, you can't paint everybody in one group with a broad brush.
I would just think it was meaning, hey, Rona, stay away from our big day.
Yeah, and they've got it covered. I think they do.
Absolutely.
All right, now we want to see more videos and pictures like this, so please keep submitting them to us. Very easy to do. Go to the WKYC app, click that orange bar, upload your video or photo, and then fill out this form. Make sure that you give us a couple of details about the photo that we can include in the story, who's in it, what's going on, where you're submitting it from, that kind of stuff. And then we'll share it with all of our viewers. Still ahead on What's New.
It was wild to see that I wasn't alone, but it also made me feel good because there were other people that could help me understand it's okay to not be okay.
Olympian Michael Phelps and other Olympians open up about their mental health struggles in a new documentary. We have all the details straight ahead in Pop Break.
And it's hot outside. Jason's in the kitchen, cooking up some good weather, a mixed forecast. What do we see there?
Yeah, overall, it was an absolutely beautiful day across much of Northeast Ohio, but we do have some rain in the forecast. I'm going to let you know when you're going to need the umbrella after the break.
All right, Jason, we'll see you soon. Pop quiz time. See if you can get this one. Since training camp started this week, we're asking, what year did the Browns join the NFL? Was it 1946, 1950, or 1954? We're going to have the answer when What's New comes back after this quick break. Stay with us. All right, before the break, we asked you what year the Browns joined the NFL. It's kind of tricky because the answer is 1950. Some of you might have thought 1946, but that was the year Paul Brown started the Cleveland Browns. They played in the All-American Football Conference. They won the championship in 46, 47, 48, and 49. And in 1950, the NFL said, come play with the big boys. And that's what
I got it wrong. I actually thought it was 46 as well. So I learned a little history.
A little tricky there, but 1950 is the right answer.
There we go. Learn something new every day. That's why we're What's New. Okay, so Instagram flagged one of Madonna's tweets. Plus, Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps and other Olympians addressed the mental health struggles that they had to endure. I've got it all covered in today's Pop Break.
HBO's The Weight of Gold is taking an in-depth look at the real lives of the Olympians we know and love. It explores the mental toll on athletes who spend their entire lives leading up to one event that will define their athletic career. Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps stopped by this morning to talk about the documentary, his own struggles with mental health, including suicidal thoughts, and how he hopes the film helps anyone who may be struggling.
It is going to be difficult, but it's something that we need to talk about, we need to address, and
Madonna is in hot water with Instagram after reposting a debunked video of Dr. Stella Emanuel claiming that hydroxychloroquine is a cure for COVID-19. The singer's post was initially flagged but then completely deleted for violating Instagram's guidelines regarding the spread of false information. The video has been circulating on various social media platforms and even got Donald Trump Jr.'s account locked on Twitter for 12 hours for sharing false information. Yikes. Feel free to express yourself, but check your facts first. And social media erupted with jokes and memes on Tuesday after Reese Witherspoon was snubbed by the Emmys despite starring in 3 different shows that received nominations. Both of Reese's co-stars in Apple TV's The Morning Show received nominations, and her Little Fires Everywhere partner, Kerry Washington, also received a nod. And of course, we can't forget HBO's Big Little Lies. Witherspoon, though, says she's overjoyed for her co-stars, congratulating them on social media and saying she is incredibly proud.
Okay, I'm a big Reese Witherspoon fan. I've actually seen every episode of all 3 of those shows, and they are fantastic, Jay. But I have to say, I don't really think she's upset. Fans are upset, but Reese is like, hey, I own Hello Sunshine. I'm up for 18 because I'm the boss.
Yeah, so ultimately she gets the last laugh. All of that being said, it wouldn't be a good look if Reese came out and expressed her displeasure for not being nominated. Mm-hmm. So it's much to her benefit to just say, I'm cool with it, I'm fine. But you have to think that deep down she has to wonder how she got bypassed for all 3, because
it is interesting.
Everybody
she was
loved
phenomenal in all of them, really. But the morning show, especially, I'm biased. We work in news, so of course I like that one a lot. But she was amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people thought she should have been nominated. Maybe next year.
Maybe we'll see.
All right, it is time to check in with weather. For that, we head back to Jason Fraser to tell us what it looks like over the next couple of hours. Hey, Jay.
Hey there, Jay. And you know what? I have to laugh about your friend that texted you about Romney and I. No, I was not trying to shoot my shot. We are married. So there you go. There goes the ring. And I'm still paying for it, literally, from February. All right. So overall today was, she's going to kill me for that. All right. Good evening, everybody. Help me. We are going to see what the weather is going to be like this morning. Ricky sent over this lovely picture from what it looked like over in Canton this morning. He used the WKYC app to upload that picture. Thank you so much, Ricky. We appreciate you. And that's pretty much the way it looks like all across much of Northeast Ohio. If you have an interesting weather photo, do us a favor. Upload it to the WKYC app. It's the second option there. Doppler Radar right now, the only showers that we have are they're over Lake Erie right now. They are not making their way across Northeast Ohio. However, I do think later on this evening we will end up seeing a few more clouds as well as some rain showers. The more likely that you will end up seeing those rain showers is whether or not you're going to be closer to the lake shore. So the closer you are to the lake, the more likely you'll actually end up seeing some rain showers. Satellite and radar, things are much more quiet across Indiana, but we do have a lot of activity that's moving across not only St. Louis, but also the western edge of Tennessee. Temps right now across the region, 85 over in Elyria, 86 in Norwalk, 90 degrees here in downtown Cleveland. And regionally, you'll notice that where all those showers are right now, there is much cooler air, and some of that is going to be making its way into our direction. So let's talk about some of that cooler weather. If you love the 90 degrees and higher, I have some bad news for you because what's going to end up happening is the jet stream is going to end up pushing down from Canada, and that is going to allow some cooler air to push across our region likely Friday into this weekend, and then we pretty much get into a rather cooler pattern. And when I say cooler, I'm really talking about low 80s instead of 90s. So there you go. All right. National Design Mart, hour-by-hour forecast. Overnight, we will see temperatures dipping down into the upper 60s and low 70s, and we will see a little bit of cloud cover as well as a sprinkle or two, likely sometime between 1 and about 5 a.m. And then by 7 a.m., it should be a fairly decent sunrise because it'll be partly cloudy across much of Northeast Ohio. And then tomorrow afternoon, can't rule out the possibility of an afternoon rain shower. Here's your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. 82 degrees for tomorrow, 80 for Friday, and then this weekend is going to be pretty much hit or miss. 82 for Saturday, 79 for Sunday, but as you can see on both days, we do have a chance at seeing some rain showers. So Jay, grab the umbrella because you are definitely at some point going to need it over the next couple of days.
All right, very good, Jason. Thanks. And by the way, enjoy those cupcakes later tonight. Have one for me.
Yes!
Well, it is Wellness Wednesday. If you're struggling to get moving in the morning, we have 3 easy things that you can try to do to get up and moving.
And this baby and his Roomba are inseparable. We'll tell you why in this Worth the Watch. Let's check in on our question of the day. We asked how you're using your vacation days and if you're using them. Most of you say you are relaxing at home. I'm right there with you guys. Jay?
I was too until seeing pictures of the beach. Now it makes me yearn for the beach.
That's true.
Well, spending a lot more time at home might have many of you in a rut. So instead of waiting until the last minute to hop out of bed to start your workday, we have 3 things that could help jumpstart your day. First up, how about this idea? Lemon water. First, Dr. Nahi Viez with the Cleveland Clinic recommends drinking a glass of lemon water in the morning. She says water helps wake up your body, and the lemon adds a variety of health benefits.
Provides some citrate and some antioxidants. And as you know, antioxidants are really good to help reverse the damage that your cells have occurred over time. It also provides flavonoids, which are really good as an immune booster.
This doesn't mean that you can't have any coffee or tea in the morning. You just want to limit how much sugar you add to your drink early on. Next on the list is a morning workout. This is very important. Dr. Viez says people who work out in the morning often have better outcomes and are better at sticking to their routine. Romney and I were talking about this just yesterday. She recommends doing anything, whether it's yoga, walking, or running, just get up and get moving. And number 3 is meditation. This can be anything from actual meditation, prayer, deep breathing, or just reflection.
The internal conversations with yourselves help you start your day off right and help you manage the stressors that happen throughout the day.
Doctor says you don't have to meditate very long. Just do it for however long you can. It can be anywhere from a few minutes to 30 minutes. Romney?
Thanks, Jay. Some babies like toys. This one likes his Roomba. We'll tell you why next.
I do. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, I can hear you. Sorry, I just spray painted my spray. Yeah, in my both eyes. That was a new one. Mic check. Jay, I found this most.
Yes. Rachel's mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I saying? A bill was introduced to repeal.
Jay, we always like to end with something great that's worth the watch, and I found the most adorable worth the watch video. It's a little baby named Kenny from Utah, and he is obsessed, not with toys, but with his parents' Roomba. Check it out.
Error 5. Spin Roomba's side wheels to clean. Then press clean to restart.
There he goes. He knows how to press the button, get the party started, and boop, spin around. Mom likes it because the house is clean, baby's entertained, and he doesn't get queasy. That's a win-win for all, Jay.
I have to say, if my parents had one of those contraptions when I was a child, and Lord knows those weren't even thought of then, I probably would have done the same thing. I mean, it looks like it could be fun if you're a little guy.
I mean, this kid's going to love roller coasters, that's for sure, because that's his first ride, per se.
That is absolutely hilarious.
And the video continues. It goes on for like a few minutes. He's just clearly in his happy place. Mom's going to throw this in his face in a couple decades.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing is, it's not doing much cleaning. That spot right below him is going to be very clean. Outside of that, I don't see it doing much.
I think Mom's just happy that he's entertained, you know?
I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed What's New. We invite you to watch us tomorrow. We're back at 5 o'clock, and we hope to see you then.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Operation Legend is a violent crime reduction effort, period.
Federal help coming to Cleveland. What's in the plan and what's not? No notice. The city of Cleveland says it wasn't involved in getting the September presidential debate to come here. Mark Namick has the latest. Pandemic Fair. The Summit County Fair is underway tonight as cases of COVID-19 keep rising. What precautions fairgoers are taking and why it was still allowed to go on as planned.
We get to practice all of the modes of education in those first 2 weeks.
Soft launch. How some school systems with in-person learning plan to ease kids into the new year. Plus, a new study right here in Cleveland aims to find out how COVID-19 affects babies in utero.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening to you. I'm Laura Queso.
Adam Russ Mitchell, we begin tonight with something that's being called Operation Legend. It's a Justice Department program that will bring about 25 investigators to our city, a partnership between federal, state, and local law enforcement to address violent crime. Amanda Abraham tells us what it will look like and how the operation is focused on seeking justice for a murdered teenager.
This is the right time to do this.
It's called Operation Legend. Officials say it's part of an effort to reduce violent crime in cities across the country, including right here in Cleveland.
There are additional resources that are being provided to federal, state, and local law enforcement to assist in traditional crime fighting that will be directed at gang violence, narcotics-related shootings, and illegal firearms.
The U.S. Department of Justice says Operation Legend is named after a 4-year-old who was shot and killed in Kansas City back in June. U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Ohio, Justin Herdman, says homicides in Cleveland are up 13% from 2019, and non-fatal shootings are up 35% from the year before.
Any sense of urgency that you may sense from us is born out of a need to prevent additional murders and shootings.
Today, a $25,000 reward announced in the murder case of 17-year-old Eric Hakizimana, a refugee who moved to Ohio with his family. Eric was shot and killed while stopped at a